Hi guys, it's Belle here and it is Monday, which can only mean one thing here at Bellaboo Creations. It is time for the Margarete Miller Collage Challenge. As always, all links to Margarete Miller will be linked down below in the description box. Please do check those out, as well as don't forget I have playlists of the previous 2 years and everything this year so far on my channel. So today's one is going to be another, things are falling, another seasonally themed one. If you are here in the UK, you may already guess where this is going. Let's get started. Something that's dark. So I have some black card. Looks boring, but we're going to do something with it. A song title. Now, I'm really pushing the bounds of what can be considered a song title, but we do sing this even though it is a poem, and it is the Bonfire Night song title. Something sweet. I have a couple of options. I have this hot chocolate packet, and I also have something else, because another prompt is text in any colour except black. So I have a couple of texts that say caramel apples, and I want to use that. You're definitely here in the UK knowing what I'm going for. The next prompt is a gate or fence, so I have this is that thingy gate washi, and then finally the bonus is tissue paper, the wrapping kind. So I have this beautiful one. Okay, and the theme of today's Margarete Miller, which is, I don't think I said, week 45. Please do put this hashtag in on here or Instagram to see what everyone's doing. The theme is Bonfire Night, because this will go up on the 4th. And here in the UK, on the 5th, every year, I want to say celebrate. It's a complicated one, but yes, we observe, we celebrate. It's part of our festival calendar. We celebrate Bonfire Night, and I'm going to tell you all about it because I know not everyone will know what it's about. But the funny thing is, you may know more than you think. So we're going to start off with the wrapping paper, and I want to do this because obviously Bonfire Night is during the autumn months. Well, going into winter, we're pushing it, but everything is very autumnal, so I wanted to do this. So let me tell you about Bonfire Night if you do not know. Sorry for that noise. Neighbours doing work outside, kids are off school making noise. It's just one of those weeks, we have to go with it. So back in 1605, King James I was on the throne. He was James I of England, and I believe James VI of Scotland. He was the first kind of crossover monarch in that way, hence him being James I of England and a different number for Scotland. They'd had a lot of James kings by then. And he was a Protestant king. Now, when he came to the throne, there were high hopes, because during Elizabeth I's reign, there had been a lot, and other monarchs, there had been a lot of religious persecution ever since Elizabeth I's father, Henry VIII, Tudor king, dissolved the monasteries and decided to upheave all religion in England, because he just wanted to keep remarrying, because, you know, let's not get into what I think about him. But anyway, so that's what he did. And then, so there was a lot of religious persecution. There has been in the UK, it's kind of been a mix of Protestant and Catholicism. There's still these problems where I'm from, back home in Northern Ireland. It's a whole thing. It's very... Anyway, let's move on from that. So, When James I came to James I of England, let me keep saying that because he was James VI of Scotland. When he came to the English throne, it was hoped by the Catholics who had been experiencing a lot of persecution. That's why we have priest holes in a lot of the houses over here and things like that. They'd been experiencing a lot of persecution. Now, it would be great to feel sorry for them, but historically, when the Catholics were in power, the Protestants experienced persecution. When the Protestants were in power, the Catholics experienced persecution. I mean, really, when are you going to learn that maybe the way is, let's all just live in harmony? But no. So when James came to power, because his mum, Mary, was Catholic, it was hoped that he would be kinder. Sorry for all that noise. He would be kinder to the Catholics. Oh my goodness. Unfortunately, he was not. We're going to have some fireworks. This is also part of something that's dark. I'm trying to work out what fireworks I want. Yeah, it was hoped that when he came to power that he would be kinder, show a bit more leniency. However, he did not. And so it was decided by a group mainly of nobles. It was decided by them that James had to go. Something had to be done. Something had to be changed. So in 1604 to about 1605, a group of them got together and they started to have what is known as the Catholic conspiracy, and they started meeting in secret and all that stuff, and obviously they were trying to work out how to overthrow the or change. This is just not wanting to rip. It's because it's got a shiny, there we go, a shiny side to it. It tends to rip better one way than the other. Okay. By the way, this chocolate, if you live in the UK and you like hot chocolate and you like Hotel Chocolat, this is my favourite hot chocolate they have ever done. I introduced you the other year to the mince pie one they brought out, but this year's cinnamon Danish, oh my goodness, guys, it's so delicious if you like those kind of flavours. So they were trying to come up with a way to overthrow, to change, to make things better. Although, as I said, whenever they would get into power, I'm sure they would make sure that everything was just the kind of same. I'm wondering if I want a bonfire on here. It is called Bonfire Night. Let's put a couple of stickers on here. And so they had this member in their group known as Guy Fawkes. Now, Guy Fawkes, his family were originally Catholics. But when his father died, his mother, he was born in York, and when his father died, his mother ended up remarrying. No, they were originally Protestants, and his mother ended up remarrying a Catholic, which he then became really interested and ended up converting to Catholicism. And he actually went and fought on the Catholic side in the Spanish 80-year War as well, which is why he actually met one of the conspirators over when he was over fighting in Spain. And it's one of the reasons they wanted Guy Fawkes on their side, because he had experience with explosives and things like that. Let's have a look at where we want to put this. And so he got interested in their cause and joined them and all that stuff. And basically their idea was, or the idea they landed on was, when it was the state opening of Parliament, which is when the royal family come to the opening of the UK Parliament, when it was that, what they wanted was they wanted to blow it up. They wanted to blow up Parliament and hopefully the king and his heir and his whole family with it. You know, not the questionable people. Now, what I'm going to do is, while I'm doing this, because this is to do with fireworks, I am actually going to stitch on here. So this could be a bit of a lengthy video. I try to normally keep them to about 20 minutes, but guys, here we go. I have some threads here. This is my kind of random anchor threads with no names box. And this is the one I like to grab whenever I'm doing... Oh, that's a cool one. Do I really want to use that one? It's so cool. Save that for something else. Should we have some blue? Yeah, I just grab this whenever I am... I really like this one, though. Let's have some gold. Okay, we'll do... Have we got 3? I thought we had another one. Should we grab a pink? So anyway, yeah, so they were going to blow up Parliament. And they got Guy Fawkes involved, and like I said, they wanted the state opening of Parliament so that they could blow up the king and his family. Now, somehow, historians argue over who it was, but someone basically ratted them out. Someone sent a letter in October of 1605 to the king and basically said, I mean, I'm not going to tell you the whole letter, but it basically warned him something's going down. You know, check out, be careful and check. Something's going down, something's going to happen. You know, you need to beware. And so the king sent guards down on the night of the 4th of November, leading into the day of the 5th of November. And poor old Guy Fawkes was caught down there with a lantern, it said, and some matches. I'm basically trying to replicate the, very basic, but I'm just trying to replicate the fireworks. He was caught down there and obviously arrested and then sent to the Tower. Now, I won't tell you what went on in the Tower because it's not nice and I don't want to get YouTube to, you know, if you want to know, it's the Tower of London, guys. Things happened. It wasn't a nice place. And it is quite sad because you can see his signature before he went to the Tower. And James I of England did sign a letter saying, basically, do whatever you have to get the names of the other conspirators. And when you see his signature before he went to the Tower and his signature afterwards, it kind of, yeah. It wasn't a good place to be in the Tower. And so he ended up basically giving the names of his other conspirators. Some managed to escape, I believe. Others did not. And they were also taken to the Tower. And long story short, basically they were then found guilty of treason. And they were condemned to death. And again, I'm not going to go into details about their death. If you're interested, look it up, but it was horrendous. And so that happened. So basically, after that, I mean, this is the king, and I just want to point this out. I am not James I of England's biggest fan for many reasons. And one of them is, this is the king who did the St. James's Bible, King James's Bible. And he was the one who changed part of the wording so that now we say, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live in the Bible. And he was responsible for believing witches were out to kill him. And he was the one who instigated the witch trials in both Scotland and then brought that disgustingness down to England. And yeah, he played a major role in the death and horrific treatment of many, majority women, but also some men, during the witch trials because he was paranoid and he was just horrible person. As far as I'm concerned, he's just horrible. So that's that. So bearing in mind that, I don't think he really cared about what happened to Guy and his fellow conspirators. Now, what then happened was James, obviously believing he had been saved by God, then brought in an ordinance which is called, funny enough, the Thanksgiving Act. This was brought in January of 1606. Let's remember that the bonfire, the gunpowder plot, as it was referred to, because poor old Guy Fawkes was found down there with a lantern, matches, and about 30 barrels of gunpowder. They were going to blow up Parliament. And he brought in this act, James, the Thanksgiving Act. Its full title, I believe, is called The Observances of the 5th of November Act of 1605, something silly like that. And basically what he wanted this act to be was that from 1606, exactly a year to the day, on the 5th of November, people were to remember what happened, and you had to go to a church service, and then celebrations were held with bonfires and fireworks. The fireworks representing like what it would have looked like if Parliament had been blown up, that kind of thing. And obviously this had two reasons. One, because, be thankful the king's still alive, blah, blah, blah. And two, it was to make sure traitors knew what would happen and that this king was definitely ordained by God and what would happen to you if you tried to do anything about him. And they even put a memorial, funny enough, quite early on. It might even have been in 1606. They did a memorial in the Tower that was put up with all the names of the conspirators, what had happened, and there's like a Hebrew verse on there from the Bible and all this kind of stuff, basically warning all traitors what would happen. I mean, they already had Traitors' Gate and things like that, and people did not want to go near the Tower because of what was going on in there. But they just wanted to make really sure that everyone knew what happened to anyone who tried to conspire against the king. That's all happened. Do I want another gold one down here, maybe? So he brought in this act. And that has, although the act was not repealed, but kind of, it was no longer kind of law in sort of the, I want to say the 19th century, 1800 and something, 1870, something like that. It has been still celebrated every year in the UK, right up until today. Now, kids here in the UK, the majority of them learn about Guy Fawkes in school, and we celebrate Bonfire Night, and there's big celebrations all over the country where people get together, they have huge bonfires. Or if you're in an area that you can't have bonfires, because normally like the local council and that will hold a big bonfire celebration, there's fireworks. And so, you have fireworks, you celebrate, you just go see all this stuff. Possibly the most, I want to say disturbing, conflicting, difficult part of the celebrations, I really love how that looks, is that from I don't know when it started, but I know it's been going on for probably 100 years. And up until, I'd probably say till my kids were in their teens, I used to see this. I don't really see it anywhere now, but it was a huge thing when I was a child, is that you do what is called penny for the guy. Now, most of you guys will know this as a scarecrow, But it is basically an effigy. They make, kids go round, they get old clothing, they make a person. It's meant to be Guy Fawkes. And they go around saying, penny for the guy, penny for the guy. And yeah, you'd give them a penny and stuff. And then on bonfire night, this would then be thrown onto the bonfire. Now, that is not how Guy Fawkes died. But it has become a huge tradition, and unfortunately this has creeped out into other things. But yeah, so kids when I was young would go around saying penny for the guy, penny for the guy, and they would have got old clothing. They'd often push him around like in a little trolley or something, and yeah, they'd push him all around, and they would ask for money. And yeah, it was all part of the celebrations, basically. Do I want this down here? I'm trying to see where I want it. Yeah, I think I want it down there. It was all part of the celebrations of the day. Now, like I said, it's not really a thing now. I don't really see a lot of kids going out doing penny for the guys anymore. But yeah, it was a huge thing, and still to this day, a lot of bonfires will have something that's been made that'll go on top of the bonfire. Again, that is not how Guy Fawkes died. I do find it ironic because that is unfortunately how a lot of people accused of witchcraft died. But anyway, so in this country, it is a huge celebration. I have very complicated feelings about it because I'm not sure we should be celebrating what is effectively the deaths of some people. I don't think we should be celebrating that. And I've always tried to teach my children the whole history of it. It also really does represent the idea of religious persecution, and I don't really feel comfortable with that either. But the thing is, like many festivals, like Christmas and even Halloween, it's kind of moved away from its original beginnings. And I don't think, even though we're taught in school about it, and we really are taught in school all about it, I don't think a lot of people really know or remember the reason we do it. People just like the fact there's bonfires and you can get together, and what'll often happen is there'll be a fair, there'll be lots of rides, there'll be a big bonfire at the end of the night, there'll be loads of fireworks that go off. It's just a fun time, really, at a very dark time of year. So I think a lot of people just think, well, it's fun now, but I've always had complicated feelings about it, and I think part of that is also growing up in Northern Ireland, or coming from Northern Ireland, and the whole religious persecution ridiculousness that is that. And unfortunately it had the opposite effect for Guy Fawkes and his fellow conspirators, because James I came down even harder on Catholics, because the Protestants became even more worried about the Catholics in that term. But yeah, so I have complicated feelings about it. I want to use white, but I don't know if this white pen's really working at the moment. I've been using it on a lot of stuff. I feel like it's not wanting to work, because I want to use this little one that I've used Brusho crystals on because I like the colours. Ooh, my paint pen. Brusho. Yeah. So what I used to do with mine when they were little, obviously I would tell them the history and all that kind of good stuff. Why is my pen not working? Why is this white pen not working? Okay, well, that's very annoying. So we're going to have to go to black. I would tell my kids the history of it and everything, so they would be well aware of what we were celebrating, and I would prefer not to celebrate. Oh, I wonder if the gold will work. Oh, let's try that. That doesn't really come up very well at all. Where's my black pen? I would try and, as I said, teach my children what it really is about. And then we would often go to the bonfires. It depended. I do have a son who is neurodivergent, and he did not particularly like the noise, because obviously bonfires are super noisy. Fireworks are noisy. But they used to like the just the fair and all that kind of thing. And I used to make chocolate honeycomb. So I'd make the kids a bag of that, and then I'd always take a flask of hot chocolate, hence the hot chocolate. And I often either made or brought, because over here for Bonfire Night, one of the big things is caramel apples. Now they've started doing chocolate apples, and I know there was a particular shop that every year brought out a range of chocolate apples with different sweeties on. I have made my own too for the kids, but we would always grab one of those. In fact, even this year, when they came out, I brought them for my boys and took them down for them because it's just part of the tradition. But as I said, I used to make little bags of chocolate honeycomb, and I used to take a hot chocolate flask, and we'd go and they'd go on some of the games and the fairs and all that kind of thing. And then we'd watch as everything kind of happened. And I'm wondering if I want another gold one up here. I think I do. And so hence the hot chocolate on here and caramel apples. They are a huge thing over here for Bonfire Night. It's part of the traditions. So yeah, as I said, I'm a bit conflicted about this one, but it is a huge tradition. And I think this is the complete poem. I'm hoping it is the song, the poem. Oh my gosh, that's the thing we didn't put on there. I've been looking, thinking something's missing. We didn't put on the poem. So I'm just trying to get this thread to go through the needle, and I haven't got my wax with me. So let's grab that. So the poem starts off. Remember, the 5th of November, gunpowder, treason and plot. I see no reason why gunpowder treason should ever be forgot. Guy Fawkes, 'twas his intent to blow up the king and Parliament. 70 barrels of powder below, poor old England to overthrow. By God's providence he was catched with a dark lantern and a burning match. Holla boys, holla, let the bells ring. Holla boys, holla, God save the king. So that is the poem that we are taught in school every year, although most people only remember the 5th of November. Most people only remember that bit, which, I understand. So yes, that's the poem. And it's just a whole thing over here. It's a whole sort of celebration, but my kids are older now, so I don't really celebrate it anymore. And I've always had very conflicted feelings about it. I think, there's a lot to be conflicted about when it comes to this celebration. But again, a lot of people don't know what they celebrate anymore. They just celebrate. And well, it is what it is. So it's a huge thing over here. Obviously, it is not a great time for pets because there is a lot. I don't know if I want that there. I think I want it down here. I don't need to put the rest because that's fine. And I do want to do another gold one. I feel like I want to do one over here or even up there. Unless I want another blue one. I feel like I want another gold one. Yes. So anyway, that is what this is about, because I just feel like unless I do a pink one. Let's do a pink one. Let's do a pink one. Where did my pink go to? Here it is. Yeah. So that's what we celebrate over here in the UK. My cats have been absolutely stressed for days between having Halloween, Diwali, and now Bonfire Night. There have been fireworks going on for about a week because people start early. and they go late. I think I had fireworks going on the other night till like 1 a.m. It was ridiculous. And my cats, no matter what I do to try and calm them, there's all sorts of techniques and things. Basically, they hate it, especially the kittens. They really, really, really hate it. I call them the kittens. They're not. They're 2 years old. But yeah, they really hate it, and it's driving them crazy, and it's only going to get worse, especially on the actual night. And then for a little while afterwards, they continue. I think I want it down here. They still continue with the fireworks because, you know, people. And so I will be keeping my cats calm. I will have a hot chocolate because probably one of these, because, you know, that just makes me think of my kids and those days. And then I will be reading. There is, in case you're new, hello, welcome to the chaos that is Bellevue Creations. But also, I am a huge Agatha Christie fan. And Agatha Christie, in a short selection of little novellas that involve Poirot, one of them is The Murder in the Mews. The collection is actually named after that. I think it used to be called Dead Man's Mirror or something, because that's another one of the stories in the collection. But Murder in the Mews actually takes place on Bonfire Night. And the woman is found, dun, 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 the day after Bonfire Night. And the fireworks and the noise of all that have something to do with the story. Now, it's only a really short story. It's... I want to say not even 70 pages. I suppose it depends what book you're actually reading it in. I still feel like I want another gold one. I don't know why. I just do. And why not? So I'm going to be wrapped up with a hot chocolate, keeping my cats as calm as possible, and reading Murder in the Mews, because I don't do fireworks. They stress me out. We used to do them when the kids were little, and I remember being tiny and having sparklers. Like in the schools, we have to have all these health and safety days where we remind kids how dangerous Bonfire Night is and how dangerous fireworks are, and health and safety around them, and health and safety around sparklers and all that good stuff. We have to, you know, teach the kids that when I was working in a school. I feel like there's a lot of gold there, but I kind of like it. But you know, I don't know. Let's just do another gold one. Who cares? Who cares if they're near each other? Yeah, so I remember holding sparklers when I was little, and you always have to wear your glove and be very safe and keep them away from you and all that good stuff. And again, one of my sons, they frightened him, and fireworks, and we just stopped doing them. But we would go to some displays. He would have his ear defenders on and things like that, so it wasn't too bad for him sensory overload, because he kind of wanted to be part of it but didn't want to be part of it all at the same time. So yeah, I won't be doing fireworks or anything like that. I will be having a hot chocolate, and I will be reading my Agatha Christie Murder in the Mews, and hoping that my cats are okay and not too stressed. Actually, I was going to use some double-sided tape. Why am I going to use double-sided tape? I might as well use some of this washi, because that came out of its thing, and I just want to make sure that it stays stuck down. And so there we go, guys. This is today's one. I really love the sparkly thread on there. I feel like I need another blue one, like over here, because we've only got 2 of the blue. I'm going to leave it. So let's have a look. Something that's dark. We've got the dark cord, and these stickers are dark in the background. A song title. I'm pushing it. It's more of a poem, but we do sing it. Remember the 5th of November. Something sweet. We have caramel apples, and we have hot chocolate. Text in any colour except black. We've got white, and we've got like a brown, a maroon. A gate or a fence. We've got the gate down here, because normally around the bonfire, when we go to the big displays, they will have a whole sort of fence all the way around it so that you can't get close, because these bonfires are like 10 feet tall, 11 feet tall. They are massive. And obviously they want to keep people safe. So the gate really works with that idea. And bonus, tissue wrapping in any kind. And I hid most of it, but I really love this because it is autumnal. And we've got all the fireworks, and we've had a little chat about Guy Fawkes and Bonfire Night here in the UK, which I know you UK people will be aware of because it's part of our tradition. But I know when I've spoken to people from other countries before, they're a bit like, what is that? Yeah. And I'm sure all countries celebrate things that really, when you look into the history of it, are questionable. So, you know, the UK is not the only place, or rather England. I don't know about Scotland. I'm guessing Wales. Wales definitely has Bonfire Night because that's where my sister is. Anyway, it's just a thing now over the whole of the UK. But originally it would have been England because it was specifically against the British Parliament. And whilst James was the king of both England and Scotland, there was still a lot of divides between the two countries back then, as there still are today. So yes, little bit of history, fun little poem. I will try and link the poem down below, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to. But if you're interested and you want to know more, please do. Oh, the other thing I wanted to tell you is the interesting thing about Guy Fawkes is that over the past, I want to say 10 years, maybe less, he has become really well known again. So even if you've never heard of Guy Fawkes, you have probably seen him. As in, the mask worn in the movie V for Vendetta, the white mask with the little black line beard and the little mustachios, that's actually based on the face of Guy Fawkes. And so the Guy Fawkes mask has now become used a lot. Obviously, it's famous for that film, and then it became a mask that people wore, and then people were wearing the costume. And then it's kind of become linked with anti-establishment groups and things like that, because obviously he was... it was a rebellion. So it's become, in the past 10 years, Guy Fawkes, his mask, his face has become very, very prevalent again across society, not just here in the UK, but over there in America, in the States, and all that kind of thing. In Europe, the mask has become very well known, but I don't know how many of you were aware that that white mask with the weird mustachios was actually Guy Fawkes, and it all links back to 1605 and a young man born in York. People think he's Spanish. He's not Spanish. He changed his name to Guido Fawkes when he went to fight in the Spanish 80-year war, but he was born in York, and he was originally born a Protestant and converted to Catholicism. But that is the history lesson over, guys. History is my first love. And that is what my degree and everything is in. So anyway, if you're interested in finding out more, do check out some UK sites, because obviously, like I said, it's a big thing over here and we teach it in schools. That is week 45. I really liked this one. It was a little bit different, but I liked adding the stitching, and those metallic threads really do sparkle. I'm hoping it's picking up. It's quite dark today. Really do sparkle against that black and give the idea of fireworks. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you haven't already. I really appreciate it. And I will be back again soon with another video. Until next time, guys, wherever you are in the world, please do practice firework safety. And I hope you're having a lot of crafty fun. Bye for now.